The Transfagarasan carves a serpentine path up the steep face of the Fagaras Mountains. This landscape, humans and wild beasts meet with unnerving closeness. Heart of Transylvania, myth and natural wonder. Fagaras Mountains, highest range in the southern Carpathians, a wall of granite and forest. The highway, an engineering marvel, ribbon of tarmac twisting for over 90 kilometers, climbing above 2,000 meters. It cuts through forests of spruce, fir, crosses viaducts over roaring glacial rivers, disappears into dark, hand-hewn tunnels, for much of the year buried under meters of snow, impassable and silent. When summer melts the ice, it becomes a magnet for travelers. Celebrated for hairpins and panoramic vistas, equally famous for its inhabitants. Bears are not rare here. They are a fundamental part of the Transfagarasan experience. They emerge from dense woods, seemingly materializing from the shadows as dusk begins to fall. A reminder we are merely visitors passing through their domain. The animal that commands such attention is the European brown bear, Ursus arctos arctos. It is a creature of immense power and surprising grace. A fully grown male can weigh over 350 kilograms, a formidable mass of muscle and bone, capable of overturning rocks, felling small trees. Yet for all its strength, it can move with remarkable speed and silence. The mother bear, while typically smaller, possesses a fierce and unwavering courage, especially when her cubs are near. She is their teacher, their protector, and their guide to surviving in this challenging environment. The cubs, often born in a winter den, are playful and inquisitive, learning vital life lessons by mimicking their mother's every move. These bears are endowed with extraordinary senses, chief among them an astonishing sense of smell. It is said that a bear can detect a food source from several kilometers away, a skill that has been honed over millennia, foraging for berries, roots, insects, carrion. This powerful olfactory ability is what often draws them to the roadside. They are also incredibly intelligent creatures, with a remarkable capacity for memory. They remember the locations of fruitful berry patches from one year to the next, and they remember the mountain passes that lead to rich feeding grounds. Tragically, this same intelligence allows them to learn and remember that cars and people can be a source of an easy meal. The forests of the Fagaras Mountains provide a rich and varied larder for the bears. In the spring, they feast on fresh green shoots, winter-killed carcasses. Summer brings a bounty of wild strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. In autumn, their focus shifts to energy-rich beechnuts, acorns, a crucial part of their diet as they prepare for the long winter hibernation. This is the natural cycle, the rhythm of life that has sustained them for countless generations. They are opportunistic omnivores, perfectly adapted to exploit the seasonal abundance of their mountain habitat. The daily rhythm of the roadside bears is dictated by the flow of traffic. The first light of dawn often reveals a solitary bear crossing the empty road, a silent ghost returning to the safety of the deep woods after a night of foraging. This is their time, when the mountain is quiet. But as the day wears on and the sun climbs higher, the cars begin their slow, steady ascent. By late afternoon and into the evening, the traffic peaks. In designated pull-offs, on wide scenic bends, cars cluster together. This is the prime time for bear encounters. It is then that a bold male or a habituated mother might step confidently out of the trees, drawn by the scent of food and the memory of past rewards. The seasons dramatically influence this behavior. Spring arrives late at these altitudes, and the bears emerge from their winter dens lean and ravenously hungry. They are driven by an urgent need to replenish their fat reserves, making them less wary and more likely to investigate any potential food source. Summer brings the peak tourist season, a constant stream of vehicles and people. With more visitors comes more food and more trash, creating a reliable day-long buffet along the highway's edge. This is when the cubs learn this perilous behavior, watching their mother approach cars and receiving their first taste of human food, sealing a dangerous pattern for a new generation. Autumn is a time of frantic feeding known as hyperphagia. The bears must consume thousands of calories a day to build up the thick layer of fat needed to survive the long winter sleep. During this period, their presence on the road can become even more frequent and persistent. They become bolder, driven by an instinctual imperative to fatten up before the snows arrive. Beyond the lure of food, other factors contribute to the road's appeal. The dark asphalt absorbs the sun's heat throughout the day and retains it long after sunset. On a cool mountain evening, the warm surface of the road can be an inviting place for a bear to rest, a simple comfort that draws them out of the chilly forest. For young, curious bears, the road is also a place of endless novelty, strange objects, new smells, and the constant movement of vehicles. Why would a bear choose to linger by a noisy, fume-filled highway? The answer, almost always, is food. A discarded apple core, a bag of crisps, a half-eaten sandwich represents an irresistible caloric jackpot. What begins as curiosity, reinforced by the reward of an easy meal, quickly solidifies into a deeply ingrained and often fatal habit. The road becomes a trap, baited with convenience and curiosity. Understanding a bear's behavior is crucial for ensuring a safe encounter. These animals communicate their mood and intentions through a clear, though often subtle, body language. A calm, curious bear will typically have its ears pointed forward, its head held high as it assesses the situation. It may stand on its hind legs to get a better view or a better scent of its surroundings. This is not a sign of aggression, but simply of curiosity. However, if a bear feels stressed or threatened, its ears will flatten back against its head. Its posture may become tense and rigid, and it might avoid direct eye contact, turning its head to the side. If these initial signs of discomfort are ignored, the bear may escalate its warnings. A series of deep huffs or a loud snort is an audible signal to back away. It is the bear's way of saying, "You are too close, I am uncomfortable." Another common sign of agitation is jaw popping, a rapid chattering of the teeth that produces a distinct clacking sound. A bear might also stomp a front paw on the ground, a clear and emphatic gesture of annoyance. The most dramatic warning is the bluff charge. The bear will run directly towards the perceived threat, only to stop or veer away at the last second. This is not an attack. It is a final, terrifying warning to leave immediately. Given the potential dangers, a strict code of conduct is essential for anyone traveling the Transfagarasan. The single most important rule is to remain inside your vehicle at all times. Your car is a metal shield that the bear understands and respects. Keep your windows rolled up, or at least open only a small crack. Never, under any circumstances, should you feed the bears. Offering food is what creates this dangerous situation in the first place. It habituates the animals, erodes their natural fear of humans, and ultimately sentences many of them to an early death. This simple act of misguided kindness is the root of the entire problem. Furthermore, responsible tourism means leaving no trace. All rubbish must be packed out and disposed of properly, and always afford a mother with cubs the utmost respect and the greatest distance. A safe bear is a wild bear, and it is our responsibility to keep them that way. The problem of the roadside bears has not gone unnoticed. Local rangers, wildlife charities, community groups are working tirelessly to manage the complex interface between humans and wildlife. Rangers from the national park patrol the highway's most popular bends, their presence a visible reminder of the rules. They are educators and enforcers, patiently explaining to tourists why feeding the bears is so harmful. The consequences of feeding are severe and heartbreaking. A bear that learns to beg for food loses its ability to forage naturally. It becomes dependent, unhealthy, and bold. It may start to approach cars more aggressively, blocking traffic or even attempting to enter open vehicles. This behavior inevitably leads to accidents. Bears are struck and killed by cars, especially at night. They can also become sick from eating human food, which their digestive systems are not equipped to handle. A bear that loses its fear of people entirely can become a problem bear, one that might enter nearby villages or campsites in search of food. In these tragic cases, authorities are often left with no choice but to relocate, or, in the worst instances, euthanize the animal. Every handout brings them one step closer to this fate. Transylvania is a stronghold for the European brown bear, home to one of the largest and healthiest populations on the continent. These ancient sprawling forests and rich secluded valleys are their natural sanctuary. For centuries, people have lived in close proximity to these powerful animals, a relationship built on respect and caution. Shepherds have guarded their flocks in high mountain pastures, and villagers have learned the rhythms of the forest. The Transfagarasan highway has disrupted that traditional balance, creating a new point of conflict. Yet, there is a reason for hope. Practical solutions are being implemented. More bear-proof rubbish bins are being installed. Clearer, more impactful signage in multiple languages is being erected to educate visitors. Authorities are designating slow zones and issuing significant fines for feeding wildlife. Local tour guides are increasingly playing a vital role, teaching responsible viewing ethics. It is a collective effort, a growing awareness that the thrill of seeing a bear comes with a profound responsibility to protect it. We are guests here, passing through a world that is not our own. We meet at this wild edge, and if we are to share it, we must do so with kindness, with caution, and with the deepest respect.